We're back. Sorry for the little delay. We were trying to do something new on Zoom, but there were some technical difficulties. So I'm just going to invite B so that we can get this party started because our time is juicy today. So we are back and hopefully you guys can hear us well. You guys can see us well so we can get into this really good topic. So let me wait till B joins. Hopefully Instagram doesn't play us because we were trying to cheat on Instagram and go on Zoom. Hopefully it doesn't play us, but yes, definitely let me know if you guys can hear us correctly. All right, cool. She requested. Awesome. I accepted you, B, so you should be in any minute now. I pressed accept. Come on, Insta. Come on, accept. Says you're on it. No, she is available to join. Come on. Just press accept. Okay.
Hello.
Good. Yes. Yay!
I'm here.
Hey. Good. Okay, so I hear you good. Cool. Do you hear me well?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Okay, so thank you everybody for joining. We had some technical difficulties. We are no longer on Zoom. We are on IG.
We are here.
So hopefully you guys can hear us correctly and hear as well. Everything's good. Please let us know throughout if we break up or if we have any feedback or anything like that, because we want to be able to edit it accordingly. But we are back. I feel like we need to update everyone on our little mini hiatus because Miss B, you have been extremely busy. You've been busy. I wanted to say busy in these streets, but it
I
was gonna
am the
sound wrong.
busy bee, so
I
it's very
mean,
on brand.
it's very on brand.
It
I
is.
was gonna say you've been busy in these streets, but it wasn't gonna sound right.
Oh
So,
dear, not in the
well,
streets.
you've been busy in the Mexico streets.
I
So,
have
can you
been
please fill us
outside.
in and where you've been, why they haven't had an episode last week? Because what's been
I
going on?
I have been outside quite a bit this month. Apologies for my voice in advance. So I was in Mexico for 6 days last week, and then I went to Bad Bunny on Saturday. So that's why I sound like this.
Yeah.
So this is like the most things that I've done consecutively back to back, probably in 2 years. So I don't know what to do with myself, but I'm exhausted. I'm
Yeah.
I'm very tired. I'm still catching up on rest, but it was much needed getaway, and I'm happy to be back.
Girl, when I tell you the insane amount of FOMO I had, just I felt like I was at the concert just by watching clips on TikTok. I literally felt like I was there, and for him to get an award yesterday while he was at the concert when I was watching it, I was
Amazing.
like, this is just life changing. Granted, I would have loved to be there for the experience. I mean, after I saw the chaos at Yankee Stadium, I was just like, glad I missed it. But
Yeah, it was definitely an experience. I honestly had severe FOMO, and I didn't know I was going until Saturday. So once I
oh,
found
that
that I
was
was
nice.
going, yeah, it was a great surprise. I was like instantly I didn't know what to do with myself. But yeah, it definitely was an experience. I'm happy that I was able to be there because it was insane. Saturday was definitely the day to be there because he brought out everyone,
Everyone.
everyone, and that's why I sound like this.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable.
Yeah.
So we are actually, since we're, on the topic, we're going to be talking about health and wellness. And this episode is going to be a two-part episode because we're going to be talking about how to find your own way. There are so many ways that you could do things on this online space and in life in general. And there's so many turns that you can take and people that you can model after. But we are going to get into more specifics of B and her health and wellness journey and all of the things. So, my first question for Ms. B, when finding your own way, how did you start your own health journey? In terms of finding your own way and all of that.
So I've started it and stopped it a few different times throughout my adult life. But if you've been following me for a while, you know that back in the beginning of 2020, I originally restarted rather, my health and fitness journey, and actually started doing Herbalife. And that was something that at the time I thought was healthy. I thought it was a good option for me. And for a time, it did work in the sense that I was able to lose weight that I wanted to lose,
Mm-hmm.
and it did encourage me to be more active. However, fast forward to almost 2 years later, those same products started to make me feel sick. And so I traced back a lot of the symptoms that I was having back to those products and the ingredients that were in them. And so I, of course, got off of them because I was really sick at the time. And through stopping using those products, it also helped me to like reignite and like restart another form of my health and wellness journey. And this time it was really focused on what I'm putting into my body, what I'm using to fuel my body, the things that I decide to bring on into my own space, and really simplifying things. I felt like
Yeah.
before it was very complicated. You know, I felt like I had to rely on a lot of things, and the new, direction that my health journey took was really me just focusing and tuning into my body and seeing what it needed, getting the proper tests done, finding the foods that would help me to nourish myself in a way that would make me feel my best. So that's pretty much in a little nutshell what my health and fitness journey has been up until now. And right now it's really focused on the healing phase of all the damage I did to my body in the past, not only with those products, but just I was someone that loved fast food. I was someone that just didn't really, I thought I was young and I didn't really have to worry about what I was, feeding myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I realize, like, no matter what age you are, you should care what you put into your body. And so now I'm kind of undoing all of those things that I was putting into my body and really focusing on healing my gut, my hormones, and just, taking it one step at a time.
I like that you said that. I like that you said that you were getting in tune with your own body because when something's wrong with our bodies, you could tell. Like if you have a headache or if you have like a stomach ache or even if like none of that like simple stuff like hurts you or you don't have any aches there, but you just like you can wake up and feel that your body is off.
Yeah.
And I like that you said that you tuned in with that because you really would just like, okay, like I need to fix something. And normally people would just like honestly like I did like half an hour ago when I had a headache. I like was just like, okay, I need like an Advil. Like I need to get rid of this headache only because I'm working and sometimes we just rely on that like quick fix and
Mm-hmm.
don't really get into like what it is that we need to fix so that it can help us long term.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
yeah, and I know that you're about to like riff on this subject, like on the next question that I'm about to ask you. I know that you're about to go off, but what are your speaking of like quick fixes and all of that stuff now too? What are your unpopular opinions on the health and fitness industry overall? And honestly, we can talk all day about this, but
I have a lot to say, and unfortunately, my voice isn't probably going to allow me to say everything that I want. But I just feel like, in general, it's honestly really sad to see the state that the health and fitness industry is in currently,
yeah.
because popularity, trends, influencers, money, supplements, those are the things that have really taken precedence. And so it's a lot of doing what's the new, coolest thing to do right now. Is it shotgunning pre workout? Is it eating a Rice Krispies treat as a pre workout? Like there's so many different things that have become popular because people with very big followings have promoted these things, and certain companies are paying people to promote certain products. So of course, it's a business and it's a multi-billion dollar industry at that. And I understand people wanting to make money. However, at the focus of the health and fitness industry should be health. And so, unfortunately, and as big as social media is, girls especially are seeing these kind of things at a younger and younger age. So it's great in the sense that girls are starting to take being, healthy and fit as a
Mhm.
priority, and they want to go to the gym. They want to, like be active. However, all of the bad habits that they're seeing are also being brought into that space. And so it just really saddens me. Especially, like I said, for me, I was a part of that problem for a long time. I was promoting things that weren't the best.
Yeah.
And of course, knowledge is power. When you know better, you do better. But my issue is the people that know better and are choosing not to do better. They
Yeah.
know that the products that they're taking or that they're recommending are not great, or they're not even using those products, but yet they're still, promoting them so they can cash in a check. And so
Yeah,
that's
that's
really like
disgusting.
yeah, that's my biggest like gripe with it. And like you said, a lot of times too, it's everyone, including myself, you tend to ignore certain symptoms that your body is giving you. And now it's become popular for people to like make a mockery of it, like, oh, I'm so bloated, I have IBS. It's so funny, I'm gonna crap my brains out. And it's like,
It's not funny.
that's really not, I mean, it's not something that you should be bragging about, And so
Right.
it's become more of like a conversation piece and a way for people to like be funny and get followers, as opposed to like, no, this is a chronic issue that you probably should address, instead of like trying to glamorize it, because it's not normal. It might be common, but it's not normal. And I think that's the thing. A lot of things are being normalized, and it's about being like, oh, listening to it's really about like, oh, accepting your body as it is now, but you're not really like taking care of your body. And yeah,
Right.
no matter what your body looks like, you should still be taking care of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the thing is that like the gag is like when you accept your body as it is, the what you have to do is you have to fix it. Like you're
Well, that's
accepting your body as it is
yeah,
like you have to accept the fact that you have to, if you are going through something like constant bloating or constant like headaches if you don't drink coffee, or like with caffeine withdrawals, or like low energy, if that is something that you're going through chronically, then it's you're accepting the fact that you have that. You have to find a solution. Like there's not, don't just hop on a trend. And I like the way that you said that, because I think that like during the pandemic and even before then it was like keto, right? Everybody was on keto before the pandemic. And then during the pandemic, like a lot of people started on like protein shakes and like the meal supplements and all of that. um and then now it's like with the shotgunning of the pre-workout, and like it's always going to be something that people want to hop on to be relatable and to like relate to other people.
yeah.
But it's turning into like, obviously people have, like people need to make money, right? Like people need, like businesses need to make money, they need to profit, and unfortunately they use like people to profit off of, because like if you are not buying and you're not voting with your dollar, then of course they're going to just be, these big companies are just going to get bigger.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, these trends exist because people give in to them, and they're never going to die until you stop doing it. So until you find that long-term fix and until you do all of that is when the trend is going to die, because it's just going to be another trend. There's always going to be trends,
There's
and there's
always
always
going to
going
be
to be
something
trends that
new.
come back.
Yeah, and that's the thing that also kind of annoys me. It's like, let's not confuse body positivity and accepting your body, meaning that it's okay to have bad habits and promote unhealthy, like, eating habits and stuff. So,
Yeah.
I just saw the other day, I shared it, a trainer was promoting that in her office with her staff that are all health and wellness trainers, that they have a snack, I guess, drawer or whatever. And it was
Hmm.
just literally filled with everything processed you could think of: candy, chips, cookies, all of that stuff. And she's promoting this as a balanced diet. But in reality, it's stuff that they're having every single day in large quantities, because she showed the desk full of wrappers of one person. So it's those kinds of messages that are, one, confusing for people, right? Because you see someone
Right.
that looks physically fit, they're promoting a healthy lifestyle, but yeah, they're also saying, oh, it's okay to eat junk food, it's okay to eat fast food, in moderation, but it's part of their everyday life, and you can still be healthy. Where it's very contradictory. And so I think also it depends on like what is your view of health. Everyone has their own interpretation of it, and so I think that's where a lot of the confusion comes from.
Yeah.
And in my personal opinion, I don't think that kind of food has place in any should have place in anyone's, health or their diet, because
Yeah.
in the long term, those things are going to really take a toll on your health.
So what happens as like you being a health and wellness coach and you doing things a holistic way? What happens like with all of these trends? Like how do you navigate through that? Especially like with like trying to like get clients, or like if people come to you and they want to work with you but they're so addicted to these trends, like how do you navigate through that?
So my main objective is to kind of strip away all of those trends and like the cliche things that people think that they need,
Yeah.
because it's really about keeping it as simple as possible, especially if you're just starting out or if you're trying to like start over and undo all those things. It's simple as best, and you don't need a lot of things to start your own health and wellness journey. Like
Yeah.
supplements are a luxury and they're great things that you can add in addition to your routine. However, you have to be smart with those supplementations and you also have to worry about the quality of the products that you're using. So when I work with someone, the first thing they'll ask me is like, "Oh, what should I be taking? With vitamins?" And I'm like, let's just focus on the basics, like you can run before you walk, right? So
Right.
before you can focus on the additions, focus on the basics, focus on the food that you're consuming, focus on your grocery list, focus on getting rid of the things in your house that are no longer serving you for your healthier lifestyle. Focus on creating a schedule for yourself where you can cook, where you can schedule time to work out, like literally the fundamentals, time just for yourself, time for quiet, time to unplug. Like those are like the basic things. Get outside, get fresh air. Those are things that you need to start with before you try to worry about adding all these other things to it. And at the end of the day, the trends that are coming and going, they're always going to be something. It doesn't mean it just because it's popular, it's for you. So I think it's really important to see what the root of the trend is, what the product is, because some trends can be beneficial. Like I remember, I think it was like towards the end of last year, chlorophyll became super popular, and there's nothing wrong with chlorophyll, right? But you also don't need to buy it in order to get it. You can get it through nutrition, you can get it through your greens. So,
Right.
again, just because you see a lot of people buying something doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad trend. However, you don't have to feel like, oh, I need to do this, or if I don't, I'm not healthy, or it's kind of expensive, if you're trying to keep up all the supplements, when you can literally just focus on the basics, get the majority of your macro and micronutrients through nutrition that way. And it just really keeps things a lot more simple,
Yeah.
because just navigating the grocery store in itself can be overwhelming
It
because
is.
there's just so many things, right? So that's definitely one of like the things that I tell people is like, forget the trends. Same thing with fashion, like things are always going to come and go.
Mm-hmm.
But stick to your basics because those are going to be able to last you now and through your life. And the same thing when it comes to your health. Focus on your food, focus on your movement, and then you can start to add everything else to it.
I like that because and like just like you said, like you can't run before you walk, so you have to make sure that you are just doing the basics first, and then like easing your way into that. Is that the
Yes.
same advice that you will give to somebody, whether they were just like brand new to health and fitness, like if they did not know anything about it, but they knew that they wanted to get healthier, or just someone who has a lot of experience with health and fitness, but they want to like change their life around? Like, would it be the same advice that you would give them both?
Yeah, in either case, I would say start with the basics because when you're starting from scratch, right, that's a blank canvas. So it's great that you can start building with those fundamental blocks. And if you are someone that has experience, like you have to unlearn all those things. So scaling back, starting just focusing on the nutrition, taking out the, like I said, swapping out the things that you used to have for better alternatives is a great way to start and to do it little by little. A lot of times when people will message me and they're like, "Oh, I want to swap for this," or what about this product? Is it good? Do you have a swap for it? And then they start to get overwhelmed, and I'm like, it's really just start small. Like you don't have to overhaul your whole life and think that you have to take out everything and start at zero again. No, that's not how I did it. And that's not how I recommend because also that's not really like,
Realistic.
yeah, it's not realistic for the average person.
Yeah.
So that's why I always say I live a low tox lifestyle because living non-toxic fully is not possible in this world. We live in an
Right.
imperfect world. So
Mhm.
start with the things that are most important to you, right? Food, if that's your focus right now. If you want to focus on your cleaning products, if you want to focus on your hair products, your skincare, whatever it is that you find to be the most important thing for you in your current situation, start with that and start little by little. When you finish one thing, replace it with a better alternative. You can, overhaul and throw out a bunch of junk food, great. But if that's not really realistic for your circumstances, for your financial circumstances, then you don't have to put so much pressure onto yourself. Really look for those areas where you can start to implement better habits, better food items, and just work your way through it little by little.
I like that. And I know that one of the things that I gather from like obviously knowing you and then like just honestly if I didn't know you and I would just come across your page, it's like it is going to not like it's going to be a change. It is going to be a change that you're going to make. And you do have to start small, but it is going to take some work. Like it's going to take you some work, especially if you want to find alternatives for things because not everything is going to be available in one supermarket sometimes. Not
Yeah.
everything is going to be available in only one place. Like you may have to travel certain amount, like maybe to multiple stores, like at least one or two stores in order for you to get um what you want, or you probably have to just scale back on what you shop for normally. And I've learned that. But when I went to the supermarket the last time, it was just like, okay, maybe I don't want to get that, maybe I don't want to get this, and maybe I have to substitute this. And it does make a difference. It really does make a difference in how you wake up. It makes a difference in like how your day is, like how you're going day by day, like what your
Yeah.
energy levels are and all of that. But and that's in terms of nutrition. But what would you say to somebody that doesn't like somebody like myself that like really doesn't like to like work out or doesn't
Uh-huh.
like to like um doesn't know where to start when it comes to like working out, because I think exercising can be harder for some people than finding something healthy to eat. So what would you say to like the average beginner?
So I feel like the one of the most underrated forms of exercise, which we all do every day, that people don't really think is doing much, is walking.
Hmm. I knew you
Listen,
were gonna say
hot
that.
hot girl walks are they became a thing because yeah, people started to like make it a trend, but walking is such a great form of exercise, especially for us ladies during our cycle. It's a great time where you can walk. It doesn't take a lot of effort. Obviously, if it's super hot, like a day like today, maybe either go earlier or later in the evening so that you're not like overexerting yourself. But yeah, going on a 1, 2, 3 mile walk, whatever you can fit into your day, is a great form of exercise. So if you're like someone that like I've never picked up a weight in my life, I would literally say start small. Start with walking. Start with body weight movements. So a lot of the movements that I recommend through my workout programs are movements we do throughout our everyday life, right? You bend
Hmm.
down to pick something up, that's a deadlift. You go to sit in a chair, that's a squat. You go to reach into your cabinet, that's a pull, a push. You know, like those little things are movement patterns that you can start adding into a workout routine. Like say you started a 5 days a week I'm going to walk, right? And then after a few weeks, like, I feel good. I'm starting to feel a little bit more energetic. Maybe I want to add something to it on your walk. You can stop at a certain point, do 10 squats. You walk another mile, you do 10 lunges. You do another mile, you do jumping jacks. Like, those are little ways that you can start to add into your day to day routine movement. And it doesn't require you going anywhere. You're just on your walk. You don't have to go to a gym if you're not comfortable there yet. And I would say work your way there. Start with your walks. Start doing some movements at home. There's so many resources that you can find for free as well online, YouTube, all those things where you can do like beginner friendly workouts. That's something that I like to really start out with people. It's like very simple workouts. I call them my shy girl workouts, where you can just go into a corner if you want to do it at home or do it at the gym. You only need like 2 dumbbells, do what you have to do, and just kind of like go, because I know it can be intimidating when you're first starting out to the
Yeah.
gym. I've been going to the gym like for years, and I still get a little bit awkward, especially if you're going into a newer gym.
Yeah.
You're just like trying to feel out the vibe, so I get that, and no one should feel like that, especially if you're just trying to get in and get your workouts. So start small. I would say start with your walks, and then eventually when you feel more confident, do your little home workout. 20, 30 minutes is more than enough to get your body feeling those endorphins and feeling great. And then once you start to feel more comfortable, you want to have a little bit more challenge, start with the gym. And it's more important about how you're working out than the amount that you're lifting or the amount of reps that you're doing. It's
Yeah.
really more about quality than it comes to quantity.
Yeah, I like that. And you just inspired me. So maybe I'll go on my
Oh,
Peloton
thank
later on
you.
today.
Look at
Well,
that.
it's
It's a
not a
great
Peloton, it's a bike,
resource.
but I may just
Still,
like,
that's a great resource to have. If you have it
yeah.
at home, use it.
And I think I fell off like the hot girl walks because it's been too damn hot.
It's been very hot.
Like I'm like, no. Like even Ali looks at me like, we ain't going outside. What you thought this was? Like it's way too hot. So it's been way too hot. But yeah, I cannot wait for like it to cool down a little so I can do those walks outside,
Yeah.
or I'll just go later on in the evening. So
Yeah, the
yeah,
evenings have been a little bit cooler
I'm
now,
influenced.
so that's
I'm
that's a good
influenced.
option. Thank you.
I have been influenced. So anybody who's listening to this podcast or watching us live, you guys have been influenced as well.
I hope so.
Are there any other tips or like advice or anything you want to give to anybody who's either listening to us for the first time when it comes to health and fitness, or maybe just doesn't like health and fitness, just seems like a cloud and they just want like some type of clarity, or even any advice that you can give somebody who is maybe relating to your story that wants maybe to like get out of the supplementation um, lifestyle and maybe like get back to basics?
I would really just say focus on the basics. Like that's like my number one thing that I tell everyone that I have a consult with or like my new, clients. And what I really like for you to do is to write down, take 5 minutes, whatever you have, write down the things that you find important in your health and wellness journey. See what are your motivating factors. If it's just about a number and about fitting a certain clothing size or seeing a certain number on a scale, that's that's not a sustainable goal because you're going to get there and sometimes you'll do whatever to get there, and then what? You didn't learn anything along the way on how to sustain this lifestyle. You didn't learn anything along the way about yourself. So write down the things that are motivating you right now as to why you want to get healthy. Review those things. Really sit with them and say, is it about how I feel or is it about how I look? And I think based off of that, you can either go two directions. If it's about how you feel, then I would say start with learning about the basics of nutrition, focus on simple movement patterns. And if you need even more assistance where you're like, I don't know where to begin, hire a coach, hire someone that can help guide you. If you're focused mostly on the physical aspect of it, then I would say you need to pour into your self-love, into your mental health, and find resources there that can help you to not only feel more confident about yourself, but get to the root of why you feel like that. Maybe you need therapy. Maybe you need someone to help you in that aspect. So hire a coach, hire a therapist, whatever it is that you feel like you need and that someone can help you, because health and wellness really is about how you feel and how you treat yourself. And if it's just focusing on the physical aspect of it, it's going to leave you frustrated time and time again. So that would be my two little ways you can go, two directions of where you
No,
can
I
go.
like that. I do
And
like
then
that.
the first direction, if you start with mental health, it's going to lead you into taking care of yourself physically. But you need to have this right before you can get there.
I love that. And it always comes back to self-care. It always comes back to like you taking care of yourself. And yeah, because so I've been influenced this episode. I guess that's what we can learn. And anybody who listens to this episode can really take away some gems. But seriously, it shows that health and fitness is not one dimensional.
Not
It
at all.
encompasses everything that we go through in our lives. Like everything can affect our health, and our health is something that's super super important. And I do like the fact that a lot of people are more conscious and more aware of their health, and they want to find ways, like they're proactive in finding ways to like improve their health, but how
Mm-hmm.
we improve our health is the most important. So
Yeah.
that was our very own B. If you guys are listening to this or you're watching this live and you really don't know where to start in your health journey, slide into her DMs. Her Instagram is going to be linked in the bio and in the show notes of this episode. But definitely slide into her DM. She will help you the holistic way and not just the quick fix way, not just the Band-Aid way. She's going to help you from the inside out, help you with your self-care. And that is the reason why we wanted to break this all down for you, because I felt like us going into the fall and ending the summer, like a lot of more people are going to be more conscious of their health now, because we're about to go into like hibernation season where it's going to get a
Yeah.
lot colder. People are going to be staying indoors. People are going back to work, back to school, so they're going to be more aware of what they're feeding themselves, both like mentally and physically. So thank you so much, B, for providing so much insight. I feel like I learn from you every single freaking time we talk.
You stop
But
it.
I am so glad that we were able to break this down with all of you guys today. So if you enjoyed this episode, please give us a rating. 5 stars only, please. Thank you. But give us a rating and give us a review. Let us know what you want us to talk about next. Next week, we'll have a part 2 to this episode. It's going to be Finding Your Way, the business edition. So I can't wait.
Yes.
But we love you guys. We love the feedback that you always give us on our podcast, and subscribe to our YouTube and all of the things. All of the links are going to be in our bio. So yeah, let us know what you want to hear next. And until next time, we will see you later.
Bye. I had no voice.
Bye.